Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today my husband and I are taking a field trip into Philadelphia to visit ILLExotics, which is a reptile and plant store. Now you may be wondering why I'm here, as I'm an aquarium channel, but that's because in the past year or so I've gotten really into a lot of the really unique terrestrial plants, carnivorous plants, and I'm in the infancy of researching a bioactive setup that I want to do potentially for dart frogs. So in my search for information, I came across this store which has all homebred exotics and a lot of really cool plants, so I thought we'd come take a look. Let's go meet the owner. So as I mentioned outside, I am in the infancy of planning a dart frog enclosure that I want to be bioactive, and in my search I came across this store, ILLExotics. I'm here with one of the owners, Franco.
Hello.
And the thing that most impressed me when I was looking around was that I found their website, and the ethics involved and the fact that all of the critters you sell are captive bred was extremely appealing to me. Can you tell me a little bit about your store, when you opened, and how it came to be?
Of course. So we opened about almost a year ago. On June 24th was our official grand opening last year. I actually went to school for horticulture and herpetology. And being in school, I've always been obsessed with plants, animals. Started in aquariums, much like you. Freshwater, saltwater kind of thing. But that's molded into plants and reptiles, which had since turned my house and apartment into a complete and utter jungle.
I know nothing about that.
To the point where my partner Christopher was like, we need to do something about this. So we decided to open up our little shop called ILLExotics, where everything I do is captive bred, sustainably sourced kind of thing, because I feel the reptile hobby as a whole gets kind of a bad rap from a lot of these importers and wild collected animals, and just a lot of the big box stores selling stuff without the proper education behind it.
And not only that, but the animals themselves are just not as healthy, again, because they're being wild caught. So if you're able to source something that's been home raised, you can find out what it's eating, how it's eating, when it was born, how it's been being kept.
Too, also just keeping it while it's in a store, looking for its forever home in a proper habitat. Yes. Not a little 12 by 12 cubicle for a veiled chameleon kind of thing.
Leading by example, which you guys know I am a huge fan of. So we're gonna take a look around, but what do you think I should see the most? Like, what is your favorite part of all of this?
So I'd say three things that we focus on here heavily. One being bioactive Bavaria with poison dart frogs and different amphibians in the store. My personal passion lies with chameleons. A little bit more of a time-demanding, expert-level reptile, but really cool and really intriguing. And then we also do a lot of the rare and exotic plants. I try to keep all the cool, fresh stuff that everybody's looking for.
Now they also do terrarium classes every Sunday, which to me sounds super fun. I wish I was close enough to attend. I'll make sure to put a link down in the description to all their social medias as well as their website, should any of you be in the greater Philadelphia area and want to come check out this store. I'm going to take a look around and show you guys some of the bright and shiny things that are catching my eye, and talk more about it. So one other thing I wanted to ask was about the name. ILLExotics is an unusual one.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So ILLExotics is short for Philadelphia. You may have seen it in branding such as like the Philadelphia Phillies and stuff like that. It's short for where we came from and where we originated, and also being slang for cool or, oh, that's so rad, that's so sick, that kind of thing.
You're such a young little hipster.
We try to keep up with the kids, so.
All right, let's take a look around.
What's up, guys? This is Chris here at ILLExotics, and just want to let you guys know that here at ILLExotics we are doing our best efforts to worry about being eco-conscious. So we've actually reduced about 80% of our plastic use here at ILLExotics and have replaced it with recycled and recyclable cardboard and paper. We use paper bags to little bento boxes for all of our feeders that get sold for our animals here.
That is fantastic. All those little things that we can do as humans go so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're feeding one of our juvenile panther chameleons here, seeing if he's hungry for some lunch. Our crickets and all of our feeders here at ILLExotics are gut loaded. Here in the store, they're fed a Pangea insect diet that's specially formulated for reptiles to make sure that the feeders are getting the best nutrition possible before going home to be lunch to your critters. Unlike some other big box stores that only feed their insects potato flakes and stuff like that to sustain, we make sure that all of our insects are super nutritional for your exotic pets.
How old is that little guy?
This guy is about 5 months old now, out of the egg.
So stinking cute.
So when he matures, right now he's kind of brown in coloration, but fully grown, the Ambelobe panthers are known for their rainbow colors, blues, reds, greens, purples. Let's see if his girlfriend's a little hungry over here. Because one of the cool adaptations of the panther, or of all chameleons, is that they have a tongue that is almost twice the length of their body, not including tail. To where they can shoot it out of their mouth and grab prey without ever leaving their perch.
Sounds like a nice adaptation to have.
I would love to see
Go gadget tongue. Yeah.
Of course, nobody's hungry right now that we've got the camera
That
out.
probably means that they're well fed.
Yes.
They look really, really, really great. Do you guys sell the enclosures as well?
We do. We have everything that you would need for any animal you sell we sell in the store. We have all of the necessary accoutrements to keep it for life at your home. We're here to set you up for success with caging, lighting, whole 9 yards.
That is fantastic.
One of these
Oh, there it
things
is.
Come out down there. They're super duper friendly. Yeah. Let's see here. This is a juvenile Jackson's chameleon. I believe it to be a young female. They're a little young to sex.
How do you sex them?
So with Jacksons, they're known as the horned chameleon. So the males actually get horns that protrude from the front of their face.
I love their eyes.
Kind of
Like a triceratops. So many of the chameleons, which led to me being fascinated with them, is their independent eyes, meaning they could look at you and look at food at the same time and process 2 different images at once. They have 4 opposable feet, or hands if you will, which allow them to grasp, in addition to a prehensile tail that helps them climb and stand secure on perches and in trees and plants. And then once again, the projectile tongue that I mentioned earlier.
Do you incubate here at the store, or do you do that at home?
I incubate all of my eggs at home. For panthers, I have about probably 300 eggs in incubators right
good
now
for
at home.
you, man. That is awesome.
Yeah.
How long do they incubate for before they hatch?
So anywhere from about 365 to 500 days for the
That
lay
is an
to
investment
hatch.
of time.
So the Jackson chameleon, something unique about these guys is actually that they don't lay eggs. The
No.
Jackson's chameleon is one of the few chameleons that are live bearing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, little fun fact.
Do they have singular broods?
No, they will have anywhere from say 6 to 20 to 30 babies at a time.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
They're super cute. Love it.
She's gonna eat that. Oh. You missed, sweetie. There it is. And that's what you call a happy chameleon.
The eyes crack me up. It's like your drunk buddy at the bar.
Yep. And you can really tell when they're focused because they look really silly when they lock their eyes on you. It's a fire pied ball python. So if you're familiar with the piebald trait, there are several pied fish species and then deer and stuff like that. But this is a young female.
Did you breed her as well?
I did not breed her myself. She came from a good friend of mine, Chris Lebersky, who's located just over the bridge in New Jersey. He's a fantastic captive breeder working with ball pythons and also chameleons.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah. Great snake kind of thing. All of our snakes that we have here in the store, before we send them home, we train all of them to eat frozen thawed. For a couple reasons. One, it's easier to keep in your freezer versus keeping live mice at home. And then also it's safer for the snake. Frozen mice are not going to turn around and hurt the snake if they strike inappropriately. And then also being frozen, we can preserve the nutrition in the mouse.
Oh.
Yeah, great little gal.
Bearded dragons are such good pets.
They are. They are. They really do adopt the personality almost of like a small dog kind of thing, with craving attention and wanting to run around. And then we have the different geckos, days, and gargoyles. I can show you one of these.
Yeah. Smart to have locks. Do you guys have a lot of issues with theft here?
So we have had, when we first opened, I didn't have locks on cages. And I wasn't so concerned with theft, but just curious kids who walk up to a cage, open it, and walk away. So the combination lock has become a staple, just for the safety of our animals.
Get one to the top of that stick right in the front.
This one has a really pretty pattern though. So this is a juvenile gargoyle gecko. It's a New Caledonian species. These little things are great because not only do they eat insects, they also eat a fruit diet. So for some of the people that are not fond of bringing live crickets into their home for animals, they can eat a Pangea diet, which is ground up like watermelon and apricot with cricket meal and stuff like that.
Do you use any of the Rapashi superfoods?
We use Rapashi also. Rapashi is our pig diet for gut load for all of our feeders. It's also what we use in our fruit fly media, our hornworm media. Rapashi is a great product also.
Can you tell me a little bit about this particular setup?
Yeah.
Like what's, let me back up.
Of course, of course.
So I can get it. What size is it?
Yeah, so this is a custom dimension. It is 150 gallons is about the equivalent. We set this up about a year ago now. In terms of inhabitants, there are 15 individuals of Mantella baroni. This species of frog is one of the natural mimics of the poison darts. So although they have the bright exotic colors that typically warn predators to stay away because they are toxic, these guys are actually harmless. The tank as a whole probably has over 50 species in it if you include plants, ranging from different aroids to bromeliads to orchids and other terrestrial plants.
What kind of maintenance does it take to maintain?
So when setting up a tank like this, the initial investment can be quite hefty in terms of getting everything planted and set up appropriately, plumbed and set up with bioactive invertebrates, meaning springtails, isopods. There's a couple scarlet millipedes living in here also. But once all those guys are in there and they all kind of start to reproduce, the maintenance is honestly minimal. We add water as it's naturally absorbed by the plants and as it evaporates, and wipe down the glass when a frog climbs to the top and decides to slide down, leaving a nice little skid mark. But outside of that, the maintenance is really minimal. It's pretty automated. We do feed the frogs, of course, 3 times a week. But outside of that,
Are they breeding in here?
so these frogs did produce for us about 2 years ago when they were at home with me. This past year, we moved them to the store, and I unfortunately disrupted the breeding cycle, so I didn't get eggs. There's a couple gravid females
I was
in
about to say,
here
she's
now.
pretty
That's
chunky.
pretty chunky. That should hopefully produce for us late summer is typically when they drop eggs. 2 of these guys actually just got a debut. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but 2 of the individuals I flew out to LA for an Animal Planet documentary.
Oh, that's
coming
cool.
out. in the fall.
Good for you.
Yeah, pretty neat. There's 15 in here. You'll never see them all at once.
Oh, I love these.
They're one of my favorite frog species.
I'm really intrigued. So what you're saying is I have to wait until you get them going, and then I can get some.
Yeah, very few people are captive breeding them. I was I believe one of the first to have them produce eggs, followed hand in hand by a company known as Josh's Frogs.
Yeah.
And then they, I believe, were the first in the U.S. to captive breed, raise, and offer for sale of captive bred juveniles.
It's good to know Josh has them too.
Yep. Steras and anthuriums and philodendrons, aeroids right now as a whole are super trendy, super popular. There's a ton of nerds myself that kind of treat them like Pokemon. You gotta have them all. And then I've kind of developed the reputation here in Philly and in the US a little bit of being a source for a lot of these plants. Having gone to school in the hobby, I know a ton of people with private collections. I've always begged them for divisions that I can then grow out and sell in the store. And then just being able to kind of bring a lot of these cool things in here, such as the variegated monstera in the window.
I saw that sucker.
That's a plant that people marvel over and drool over, kind of thing.
It's beautiful.
So that's one of the top divisions of one of my mother plants at home that I brought here and vowed to never cut from to see how big it gets and
see how
grow it
big,
into
see if
a
it lives up to
monster.
its name.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. How many employees do you have here?
So we have 2 employees now, Rachel and Hannah. Rachel is an exotic vet tech, and then also works with bats with the PA Bat Rescue. And then our other employee, Hannah, is a reptile breeder herself, working with many different colubrids and ball pythons and large constrictors here in the city. So our employees are full of a wealth of knowledge.
That is awesome. So if there's people that are looking for a particular species of plant or even amphibian or reptile, are you able to help source that stuff for folks?
Yes.
Awesome.
Always. People always come in with specific wish list plants. Many people call them their unicorn plant. I have been known to be able to source them for them, kind of thing. And then with animals, if you're looking for Uromastyx or other exotic species that I don't particularly work with or know anybody that work with, I will either A, try to source the animal for you from a reputable captive breeder, or connect you with a breeder that works with that animal who may not have it available in this moment, but will be able to hook you up in the future.
Well, I just want to thank you for the time and the tour today. This place is really
course.
incredible, and I will definitely be back.
Of course, you are welcome anytime.
So now I just want to show you a few of my favorite parts of the store. This is a Herman's tortoise nomming down. I'll show you some more of the animals, some up close of some of the plants, and just a closer look at the overall feeling of the store. I can't stress to you guys enough how refreshing it was for me to go into a store that took such obvious, excellent care of their creatures, from offering captive bred to feeding them properly to housing them properly, and that also had such a wide and healthy range of really unique plants, as well as those that are good for all levels of hobbyists. I highly encourage you, if you're in the greater Philadelphia area, to really give this store give it a look. And if you're not in the area, please know that their website, and again, I'll have all their links down in the video description as well as in the pinned comment. Take a look at what they have to offer here, because I think they're a really, really great store. They're doing a great job of educating. They're being super ethically responsible. They have an incredible range of goods. And I think that this should be the kind of store that stores model themselves after. Having this unique range of items, as well as the quality of education and the quality of care, really is what makes a business relevant in today's day and age. And their ability to utilize online sales as well as doing their classes is just ingenious.
As always, I'd like to hear from you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I would like to do more of these store tours, so let me know down in the comments if this is something that you like to see. And again, a huge thank you to Franco and Chris for their hospitality and letting me visit the store. I had my eye on a few species of plant as well as some frogs, so I'm sure I'll be back in the near future, so stay tuned for that.